All right, here we are. This is our first setup. This is our Pathfinder coming youth group here, featuring Aiden and Roxy and Abby down yonder. What we're doing right now is building us a fire pit here. We're getting ready to build us a fire pit. They're hauling rocks up here. Here's our tent. This is that tent's probably about 15 years old. It's a Kelty, a Vortex. But anyhow, Kelty Vortex 2 backpacking tent, if that's what you want to call it. I'm not really sure what's going on with my camera here. Oh, here we go. Attaboy, get them done. Fire builders. Fire builders. Are y'all glad to be in the great outdoors? Yeah. There we go. We're going to post this up on Facebook.
Hey, Aunt Kim. Hey!
Hey, buddy, what are you doing down there? Want to get rocks. Okay. All right. Until later. We'll get some more here later, maybe. And that's a Eno hammocks. First time I've ever used it. Eno helped me out with a situation that I had. And if y'all see, I got a tree really close over yonder. And actually part of my roof is leaning on that. And if it's very windy, I probably will not leave that set up like that. But they're not calling for much wind, if any, today, so I'm not going to worry about it rubbing holes in it and all that stuff. But that's the new tarp by that's the Terra tarp that Self-Reliant store carries, and giving it a try. I had to put it up in the diamond shape because of the tree, but also the diamond shape that I seen actually would shed water from head to foot on this Eno over here. I don't know if you can't tell it there. It actually needs to come back this way a little bit, but anyway, it's worked out pretty good. So I got the whole thing. My knee's still bad, folks. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna be trying out tonight. So I'm going to get busy here and get them a fire pit built. So until later, we'll add on to this, but y'all have a good one. Hey, quit. Roxy.
I'll give you some more.
Oh, here comes the Pathfinders. Where y'all been?
We've been camping.
You been camping?
Yeah, we just got back from camping.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, how'd you like it?
Good. There's Roxy down there. I see her.
What'd you learn?
We learned about making fires, and we learned about making marshmallows.
Oh, marshmallows. What kind of marshmallows y'all have?
S'mores.
S'mores? What Abby Sue have?
S'more. Hot dogs.
Hot dogs and s'mores?
Yeah.
Oh man, y'all done pretty good then too, didn't you?
Yeah, and you know what? We helped my papa build the fire.
Yeah.
In a tent.
And y'all helped me put the tent up and all that.
Look how beautiful down there.
Yeah. That branch down there. Would y'all want to come again sometime?
Yeah.
All right, well tell all these Pathfinders until later.
Until later.
Say-
So long.
Hey. All right, here we are coming up on our, what I call our Pathfinder camp. We're about home now. I got our Pathfinder to be every time he comes by there, and he says, there's our Pathfinder camp. Pathfinder school is what we call it. The battery was getting low. Where are we almost at?
The house.
The house. Are y'all glad? Alright, this as far as I know was our first backpacking trip. Now of course as little as they was, we had to convey some stuff in because they just couldn't handle the big items. Their tent and sleeping bag. Now I carried all my stuff in. Okay, we're gonna wrap the Pathfinder video up. Y'all want to come back again?
Yeah.
Say until later. Okay, I wanted to do a recap on our first backpacking trip with our Pathfinders to be from the North Carolina Pathfinder Youth Organization at the Lighthouse. I wanted to try to make these videos sort of educational for any of those that would watch our channel. Basically the things that happened to me that I learned on this trip. It's just a little overnight outing, but you can gain so much valuable information from them. So I would encourage you to do the little overnighters before you go out and do a long-term kind of thing, I guess you could say. We did have some conveyance. We took a tent up and some sleeping bags for the little ones because they just weren't able to carry a tent and sleeping bags. Now I carried all my stuff in here in my old backpack. This thing's probably 15, 20 years old. I'm not promoting any kind of a pack, I guess, per se. But I did get this backpack for backpacking on some trips. But anyway, it wasn't too long after that I broke my ankle, wasn't able to. But I'm rambling, I'm getting off subject now. But anyway, we went up. And I know earlier you seen the Eno hammock with the Terra shelter that I purchased. I purchased the Terra shelter tarp from Self-Reliance store, and hadn't really had a chance to use it or to put it up. And I started up just like with the A-type configuration on it, and I found that it just weren't going to cover my tarp. Wasn't going to cover my hammock. Having trouble talking today. But anyhow, I reversed that to a star shape, kind of a setup there, and found out it would cover my hammock, and also I didn't need but 2 stakes to stake that out. So that worked out real well. The only thing is I mentioned the tree in there that I would have changed that around. The other thing was the direction that I had that thing setting in. Most of our storms come out of the northwest, and probably would have blew in on that side if I would have had it. It would have probably blew in on that side if I would have had it set another way. So that's just something you need to think about on that. Again, setup is real key on everything. The kids, they done really well. I don't know that any of them has per se stayed out in a sense in that kind of a camp out situation. I mean, some of them's been with the campers and all that stuff, but they've not been like in a tent and just sort of, if you call that roughing it, in that kind of a roughing situation. But I wanted to let you know a couple of things that I run into. I really just cut the hide off the top of my finger, cutting some limbs, and that was not real good because I found out I didn't have any kind of bandages with me. So poor planning on my part, but again, I want y'all to learn. Not that I threw things together, but I did sort of threw things together, I guess, in a sense. So my first aid kit concerning the cuts and stuff, again, I didn't have. I had Aiden, the little one in the orange shirt, had a nosebleed later on that night. I think he was trying to get something out of his nose. We probably all know what that is. But anyway, he cut his nose, so had a nosebleed. Now, I did have some wipes. I took some wipes for him in case Mother Nature needed to take its course. So anyway, we used wipes for that and got him straightened out. The first time I ever slept in a hammock, I had a really, really bad headache, sickening headache that night. I didn't have nothing to put or to take for my headache, and I thought really I was probably going to have to leave, but I didn't want to ruin their camp out trip. So we had a really good time. I think they enjoyed themselves.
Hi.
There's Abby Sue, and here comes Aiden. Come up here, you'll be out of frame. They've been to get them some breakfast, but we had a really good time. But that's just some of the things, medication I didn't have. Some first aid stuff that I needed for my finger that I tore up and for his nose, and but everything else worked out real well. But I just wanted to let you know. Now this was just an overnighter. Now I don't know what would happen, if we'd have went for 2 or 3 days.
It was a long walk to come back.
Yeah, it's we was a little over a mile probably up there where we backpacked to. Again, it's just
and it was a long sleep.
He had a long sleep. He went to bed the earliest he's ever went to bed on this trip. So, but I wanted to let y'all know what happens or what can happen on a trip, and so that you'll be more prepared, and when you take your group out, whenever that might be. So, until later.
Bye.
Y'all have a blessed day, and from the North Carolina Lighthouse Pathfinder Youth Group, we'll see you later.
So long.